Welcome back for episode 16, even though it's the same exact day as the last week's podcast.
Part
for
us.
2.
Yes.
Part 2.
It's part 2 of internet dating.
Yes.
We're going to continue this fun conversation we're having with Natasha.
Yes.
My girl, my co-host.
Melissa.
Myself, the host, and Babe. So we're on round 2 of our painkillers because we were in pain.
Yeah, this was a stronger one.
Yes. Yeah, they had to bump it up a notch. Yeah. I'm a lightweight, so I kept it at the same level because my pain was all right.
These joints are hidden.
Yeah, they're good. They're good. I'm feeling it. Feeling relaxed.
Thanks. They are so good. They taste like pina colada.
With a little nutmeg on it.
Yes.
How do you say nutmeg in Spanish?
Nutmeg.
Nutmeg. Nutmeg.
You're so stupid.
No. Nope. That was real good.
Oh man, we just had to keep this conversation going because there's so much to talk about when it comes to internet dating.
The foolery.
I tell you.
Unfortunately, we still have stories.
Yeah. There are many.
I mean, I don't know how you can top that story about the dude that was a drag queen because Mel and I are still kind of like,
you know, I can't top that. That was crazy.
I believe that I will be telling that story to my grandchildren. Like, girl, out here in these streets, let me tell you about my day, okay?
Make sure you ask the right questions.
Yes. Oh, I will pass that wisdom on and on and on to anyone with ears that will listen.
I'm going to pass that damn story on.
Okay, wait, this is unrelated, but I just wanted to shout out to my cousin Sharice because she's so cute. She sent me a letter, like a card with like a handwritten letter. Aww. Just saying like the most beautiful things to me, saying how much she loves me and that she's encouraged by me and she wants to continue to encourage me and all that stuff. And I just thought it was so sweet. So beautiful. I didn't get a chance to text her back to let her know. It's funny, she wrote me, but I was going to text her back. So I just wanted to just put it out there and let you know I love you so much and thank you for such a thoughtful gesture.
That's really sweet.
To my cousins that listen, I will never write you a letter, but I love y'all from the heart.
Yeah.
You're not getting a note.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think it's important. You know, I admire what you ladies are doing, and I feel like it's not only entertainment, but it's really inspiring and insightful, and I'm glad that you're doing this. I'm so proud.
Thank you so much, Natasha. You were one of the first of our friends to like really like show like appreciation and celebrate us for that. So
absolutely.
I will never forget that.
Big things.
I'm emotional with these painkillers.
This 3 is gonna take me to tears.
Yes, they working. We gonna get you to cry on this podcast one day. I got my one cry.
You're gonna get a Barbara
I met my quota.
Get that Barbara Walters moment.
Barbara Walters.
That Oprah Winfrey moment.
You gotta ask the right question.
I'm not doing it. I ain't crying on this. I'm not doing it.
I have to get the camera and zoom in on that tear though.
That'll be fucked up.
One lone tear that falls down slowly.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Whatever.
When she professes her love for this new guy.
Oh.
Maybe she'll shed a tear.
But why would that make me cry?
Tears of joy.
When you meet that right
tears
man.
of joy.
Twinkle.
Nah. They sound crazy. Nah. You just gotta catch me on the right PMS episode where I'm just feeling real sad and there's a full moon and Mercury's in retrograde and my period's coming. You might catch me with the right question on that day.
You know, while we are talking about internet dating, I do want to touch on the PMS topic. There's a couple things that I've been holding back, but I'm not going to go into everything.
Go ahead.
Let it out.
Here is the place to let it all go.
Because I be talking to y'all when y'all be talking to me in my car, right? So, and I'm not big on social media. Like, I wish I were more active, but I'm really not. You know, sometimes I'm on, sometimes I'm off, whatever. But I think I shared this with you. I do think that when we have rough bouts of PMS, it's often because of some unresolved something that we can no longer suppress. That just comes bubbling up to the surface.
I will say facts.
Yes.
100%. Yeah, I agree.
There are a lot of hormonal and chemical things that are happening, but I think by and large, many of us are just trying to get through the day, get through the week, get through the month, taking care of families, taking care of our responsibilities, paying bills, doing our job. And we really can't sometimes attend to our emotions just because we don't have the luxury of the time to do it, you know? So I think that sometimes when that PMS hit, it'd be like, you gonna sit down and deal with this shit right here.
Yeah. That is super factual.
It's usually my drive home.
That is factual. Because I get like anxiety in my PMS, and that is just bubbling up from the existing anxiety that I have. So I totally believe
the anxiety that you're working hard to control on a daily basis that you can no longer control once the PMS is here. Absolutely.
Yeah. It takes all those filters away.
I'm glad we
y'all are different animals.
They're not as much worriers as we are, I think. I think we worry.
Some of them are.
We worry, but I think the thing is that
about different things.
Yeah, and there's probably more. It's more hormonal for you guys.
Yes,
really is what it is.
For sure.
We don't have as much of that going on.
Ever?
Midlife crisis.
Sure. Yeah, that's when the testosterone starts to wane.
That's when you get that fancy car.
Yeah, or that motorcycle.
You know.
That bitch on the side.
I saw that on
You
better
TV.
not go through that.
I passed that already.
Oh,
prior
please.
to me.
Yeah.
He's still young. Let's talk about past that. Boy, bye. I'm going to keep eyes on you for the next 10, 15. We'll
I
see
think
how
he'll get a car maybe.
I could see that for sure.
I see you being that.
He's been talking about a car for like years now.
Get a car.
I know.
Yeah.
Maybe a Range.
That's your type. That's okay.
Yeah. I can see that. You deserve it.
Yes.
Word, yo.
You work
You
hard.
work hard.
Absolutely.
This nutmeg is doing it for me right now.
It's that little sprinkle right there. Make that.
Sometimes I feel like y'all are talking dirty, but like not talking dirty, but I still manage to feel uncomfortable.
I was just talking about nutmeg.
So very I know, but his response was like, "What?" Stop. So uncomfortable.
I get that vibe when they say something that you interpret to be fresh, even though they didn't mean it in a fresh way.
I interpret
most of the time we mean it fresh though.
They are fresh, and he puts this voice. Y'all don't really get it because I see. Look at his eyes. You see what he's doing right there? Y'all don't see that, but I know. So I know that he's being fresh. So I'm like, yeah, y'all are nasty. Y'all are just nasty in here.
I love it.
It's all in your head, Mel.
Nah, it's in y'all eyes. Stop looking at each other.
Well, you know, I mean, listen, this is what most people aspire to. Hence why we go online and look for love.
You saw what she did? You saw that segment?
She's good.
That was nice,
She's
yo.
good.
Clap
She's
to that.
good.
I like that.
I got her Cortnie on.
Yeah.
Courtney's the segue girl.
Yes. But it's true, you know. I think that the we all want the happily ever after. And to some degree, it's brainwashing with the fairy tales and bullshit that women have been fed all of our lives from the earliest stories that we can remember.
Yeah.
But they do exist specific to your life and what you want, what you need. It is possible.
Sure.
But there's work
involved. Oh, my God. And in today's day and age, it's different from our parents, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
My parents have been married since my mom was 17.
Wow.
And my dad was 22.
Wow.
That's
I want to say
beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do they attribute to their like longevity?
God, first and foremost. I grew up in a Christian household. They are very spiritual people, but also they say the same exact things about one another. My father says when she gets on a roll and she starts complaining, I just let her go. My mother will say the same exact thing. When he gets on the roll and he starts complaining, I just let him go. And they balance each other out. they also, I mean, they do something that I don't know how much I could ever do, which is, it makes me question my life, but whatever. They never contradict each other in front of other people.
That's important.
Yeah, you're not supposed to, yeah.
Never. Even if she's dead wrong, even if he's dead wrong, they'll do it in private.
Yes.
But they will not do it.
That's what I want.
That's the way you do it.
In front of other people. I don't know how I feel about that, though.
It's important to do that because there's like a certain level of respect that you hold for the other person.
You
and they
definitely
always
have to do
got
it in
each
front of your
other's back.
kids. So I feel like that's probably something they just carried beyond that.
Yeah.
But you have to do that in front of your kids because if not, then your kids know they could play you guys against each
Sure.
other.
Right,
Exactly.
And so that's
exactly.
why y'all have to have that.
Yeah.
And it's also too that you guys are a unit when you're married. So it's like if you make the other one look bad, you're making the unit look bad. So it's like you got to keep the integrity of the unit, you know.
Right.
So it's important.
And they have that
Representing each other out
understanding. They are.
That's
they
what's
are.
up.
They have that understanding.
That's nice.
They are
Great.
ride or
That's
die.
beautiful.
They will always be together, which is beautiful. It is, and it's something
That's
to
awesome.
aspire to. But then again, it makes me question my emotional capacity because I don't know that I could. I be checking niggas way too much. Way too much. And I also be on some check me, but I guess maybe not publicly embarrassing me. I don't feel like I do that, but I'm all about like honesty and accountability and all
You know
that.
what it is too? You probably haven't had that dude that you have to respect like that yet.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, that's very true, babe.
Interesting.
a very
He
good
commands
point.
that respect. You're gonna respect
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
Damn, homie.
Deep.
And the check is going to be
Word.
different.
Word.
I digress, though. Yeah.
You gonna put that down and leave it there.
Yes. I'll pick
That
that
is
up on
beautiful,
another
though.
day.
That was actually a question I had to answer because I'm back in school.
Yeah.
And they were like, talk about a couple that you admire. And a lot of people were talking about their friends' parents or their parents who've been together for a really long time. And it's like, what do you think is the reason why they stay together for so long? So it's interesting to hear different people's perspectives.
Yeah.
My parents been together 47 years.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Married
That's
42, I think, but dating 5 years prior to that, so 47 in total. And I think a lot of it is choosing your battles.
Yes.
My mother's she lets a lot of things roll off her shoulder. And I think that works for her.
See, now,
I'm not built like that.
and that's the thing.
It's hard
'cause
for a
But she's
woman to
built
do
like
that.
I can let things roll off my shoulder, but there will be one day where that PMS bubbles up.
No. It's going to hit.
And you bring it all back.
You're going to, yeah.
What?
It's going to come out.
Oh my God.
It's going to
So
come out, but.
for me, I just got to deal with it as it comes. And maybe it comes across naggy or, but listen, I'm a work in progress. I can admit.
I have to catch myself on the daily because there's
Yeah.
always something that you can
Sure.
think of or that you could pick up, pick on, or argue about. But it's like, is it really worth it?
That's a good point.
I never argue.
Really? Really? That is an argument right there.
men say that. Men say that, but that's just because they are being technical. They're probably not bantering or yelling or in their feelings. But y'all be doing some stuff now.
Yeah.
We throw it in there.
All
'cause
right.
You know what it is? You watch and you study and you know what takes them off.
Okay.
You throw it in there now and then.
That's true though,
And they're
because
like,
the argument will probably
walk
start
away.
because I'll say something about the nasty attitude that you have,
Ah.
and then you get nasty back, and then it turns into an argument.
Right.
So see,
What
look
you
at you
mean I'm
smiling.
nasty?
Eh.
Like,
Why
I'm
you gotta
not
be
being
asking me?
nasty.
I'm
I'm
being nasty.
fine.
You
I'm
making me
fine.
nasty.
Yep. You had to come over here with all that.
I can so see
You hate that?
him
That
being
is
a pain
so
in the ass
funny.
like that.
Yeah.
Not
That
me.
is so-
Oh, shit.
That's another topic, fighting.
yeah.
I want to have a topic just about fighting.
Yeah. And that would be a good topic too, because it's important to, even when you're fighting with friends or disagreeing with them, you got to say to yourself, remember you love this person.
Right.
Before you say some
You
reckless
don't want to
shit.
go too far.
Seriously.
That's true, that's
Seriously. I say that to myself often. Remember you love this person. Because.
Sometimes you gotta hold up a card, right?
Yes.
There's some things that you could say you can't take back.
Yeah.
And that will
Exactly.
sting for a
Once
very
it's
long
said,
time.
it's said.
Exactly.
You can't take it back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This 3 is hitting.
You like it?
I'm feeling it. I like it and I'm feeling it.
Yes.
I couldn't handle that. I had to stay on the same level.
Boo. We'll get you up there.
Nah,
she ain't trying
not
to be
tonight.
there.
Maybe tomorrow. Yeah, but oh my God, we were talking about internet dating.
We were.
We totally went left.
Yes.
We were.
There's
It's
just
okay,
always
though.
so much to talk about.
Yeah.
So many different things to talk about. I wish I had more stories about when I was dating. Mine weren't as exciting as yours.
I'll tell a story. So, so I don't normally date white men. It's just not.
That's racist.
I don't think it's racist. I think it's just preference.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't prefer them.
All right.
John Mellencamp said that about black women, and he got killed for it.
Well,
He's like, I just don't prefer them, and everybody was like, you're racist.
Yep.
I mean,
I
I've taken it out
mean-
for a spin once or twice. But
Kicked around them tires.
He's a car.
but you know,
Performance was not there.
You know, it's just a cultural difference, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, a lot of
It's
times
just,
that's what
it's
it
very
is.
different. So I went out on a date with this guy, and I knew not to, but I said, you know what? I'm going to try something different. I regretted it immediately.
Wow.
So I meet him at a bar. He looked like something was off, but I was like, all right, I'm here. We're going to ride this out. And so we're sitting at a table. He decides to sit directly next to me. I don't like this already.
Yeah.
It's a first date. You're practically on my lap. I don't understand what's happening.
Give me my personal space.
So I purposely kind of faced him a little and crossed my leg to put like a space
body
between
language
us.
says
Already
a lot.
spoke. Already spoke.
Body language says a lot.
Because who does that
You
though?
know what it is? He probably read somewhere that Spanish people like close interaction.
He found the wrong one. He found the
You have to go
wrong
and find the
one.
one
That was too
antisocial,
close.
right?
You know what's also interesting about that too, because aside from the racial differences or whatever, just thinking about levels of intimacy and closeness and forcing an intimacy. You know, like he wanted that closeness.
Clearly.
He wanted it.
Clearly. So we ordered food. Clearly, I can't sit like this the entire time. I have to get comfortable to eat this fucking food. So I'm eating. He's on top of me. I got no elbow room. I'm feeling away. But I'm like,
You can't even flex your bones.
I gotta just sit through this. So anyway, so we're done. We're sitting there, and out of nowhere, he touches my hair.
Oh.
And then when he
Smooth
gets,
with it.
no, check it. So he starts at the top. And when he gets midway, he just wraps his hand and then pulls my hair.
Oh my God. Was he test driving you?
Yeah.
Like what?
Yes,
I
he
think
was.
so.
Yes, he
And I don't
was.
think he was ready. Because I said, what in the fuck?
Oh,
You never grab an
What?
ethnic woman's hair. Like, it does not work out well for you.
I don't even think you can grab a white woman's hair like that.
That's
though.
true.
Yeah.
That's
You
very
grab
true.
no
No,
one.
not
No one
without
appreciates
permission.
this.
Not without knowing preferences. Like, what are we doing here, folks?
What if I had a wig on?
I wish I did.
Or a
I
fake
wish the
pony.
fuck I did, and it just came out in his
Maybe
hand.
that's what he was trying to find out.
Maybe. You never know.
Perhaps.
That was kind of
But
aggressive.
my mouth,
Good for you.
I was like, what in the fuck? Who does that? Who does this on a first date? I don't know you. You cannot pull my hair.
Oh, Jesus.
So now he's done. I don't even know what his face just. I
Glazed up.
I said, well, I think we're done here.
Nah, bro.
So then he still wanted to follow me to my car, and he was just he was just like,
How do you come back from that?
There was no coming back. There was no coming back.
No,
I was
there's no
like,
coming back, yeah.
Thanks.
You know, while I
I'm
sit
out.
here and talk about how to be polite and nice and how to reject people politely, this was completely warranted. And honestly, if I were in your position, I probably would not have responded that way.
No, I know you wouldn't have.
But I would have regretted not responded that way.
I didn't give a fuck.
That
He was
is
bugging
not
the fuck
okay.
out.
Yeah.
I was
That is
not.
not okay. Like, who does
Nah,
that?
Yeah.
don't do that.
I think that that's important, you know, when you're dating, whether it be online or
I left
not.
out a detail.
What?
And I think that this is why I was extra about it. he was also a cop. And I don't date cops. Sorry, y'all. But so I feel like that entitlement came off him, and I was extra pissed about it.
Yes.
Like, you picked the wrong fucking one.
Seriously.
All right, sorry, go ahead.
No, I appreciate that. I do think, though, it's important to be honest about how you feel, especially when you're online dating, or if you met someone in a bar or through a family member or a friend. I think that it's just important to make sure you protect your energy, create boundaries, and really check people out, because people can, you found out early, which to me is a blessing. Like, show yourself early.
Word.
You know? But you can find out more over time once you're dealing with a person. And sometimes they can present themselves so well, but then you don't find out later on, until later on, what's going on with them.
I meet men who show their I like to say show their ass.
Yes.
I don't know why.
Yes.
But they show their ass
Show your
quick.
ass early, please. I dated a guy that I met online that presented really well. Handsome guy. And he was from Alabama. So he had this southern drawl that was so sexy.
No, it's probably really cute.
Yeah, yeah. It was so sexy. And he checked all of my boxes. Tall, didn't have any children, lived on his own, had a car, had a decent job. Check, 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 check. Right?
Looking real good.
So I went on a couple dates with him, and they ranged from first meeting for drinks, and then going for dinner, and then also like going for a walk on the promenade in Brooklyn. Heavy making out, like so into this guy, like he was so sexy, and he wanted me to come to his home for our next date. So this was probably like 6 weeks of dating, 5 or 6 weeks of dating. So I felt like, all right, I can go to his home. He did warn me that he has a very humble home.
Damn.
He knew exactly how to explain that shit
Humble.
too.
Yeah.
My home is humble.
Yeah. But he also explained a lot that he's looking for a rider, that's someone that can roll with him while he kind of like increases his earning potential and all of that stuff. So heads up, you know.
Humble,
So right.
I'm
Okay.
scared right now.
Sounds like a salesman.
So I'm like, all right, cool. You know, he's saying the right things. I can work with a dude that's working on himself. You know, that's working on himself.
You can see where this is going.
So I was meeting with him after work, and he gave me his address, and I was going to go to his home, right? So I got there, pulled up, and I texted him that I was outside.
He was like, what the
So he had a basement apartment, and the entrance was around the back of the property. So he had to come out to get me, to walk me around the back. So he came out and got me. I had on my work clothes. I was looking, you know, official, heels, nice dress, blazer, you know, looking good. So he came out to get me. And the backyard that we had to walk through was a muddy mess. Because it had just rained. And there was a plank, a board, to get...
You had to cross the moat.
I had to cross a moat of mud.
That dude got a plank.
With a plank.
Who's got a castle, yo?
That led from...
Yeah, they should have brought out some sneakers for her.
Castle,
Like, yo, mom, put these sneakers on.
You know what I'm
real quick.
saying? You should have like put these galoshes on, yo.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. So
you went through the muddy waters. Go ahead.
Yes.
Ain't that a
Over the
song?
He did hold my hand
Oh, how romantic.
and
Trust the
escorted
plank.
me.
He
could've
needed
drowned.
to carry your ass
You
through
could've
that
drowned out
shit.
So I get inside, and his
Her
place
stories, I can't.
is a mess. I mean, first of all,
He's also not tidy.
Like hoarder status. Like
no, not hoarder status, but it was a studio. He had maybe a full-size bed in the corner, no couch. So I had to like press up against the wall on the bed just to like sit and watch television, right? And he didn't have a full kitchen.
Oh, just a microwave?
He had a microwave and a hot plate.
Oh.
A hot plate.
And a sink, and the bathroom was the only enclosed quarters in the place.
Wow.
So he was like, yeah, you know,
was roughing it.
I'm about to make myself a little dinner, so you can just go get comfortable.
On the hot plate.
My dude
Wait, he was making y'all dinner or him dinner?
Melissa, you are so perceptive. I went there to him after work. He proceeded to make himself 2 cheeseburgers on his hot plate.
No.
Okay?
Didn't offer you none?
He did not offer me any.
He was just sitting there like, yeah, so like,
yes. Yes. And then he got through the first burger, took a bite of the second burger, and asked me if I wanted a bite.
Not anymore.
He made sure he took that first bite.
Yo, sir, I've come to you. You've been home all day. I've come to you after working a hard day. I just basically climbed over muddy pastures to get in here. I get in here. It's like a pigsty.
Risked your life. Almost got eaten by the dragon and everything.
You fix yourself dinner. Don't even ask me if I want anything. And then offer me a bite of your burger.
Not even the
bitten
full
burger.
Not even the full burger.
What was crazy to me was that he had been a gentleman all the way up until that point.
Wow.
Right? And so his just not even consideration of the fact that I'm coming to your home after work and you're preparing yourself dinner and you didn't even prepare anything for me. Like, you're not feeding us, you're feeding yourself.
You waited until after you ate a whole burger to ask if you wanted something.
Then the man
can't put up that appearance.
He was ready to slay you on that full size, girl.
After he finished his meal, was trying to put his hands all over this body here.
No, he did not try to push up.
After all of
it's
that,
not like he could run far.
He tried to push up. Exactly.
He had to cross the moat to get out.
I might sink in the quicksand out of that. You know what I mean? Come on. So
his greasy hamburger fingers.
I was so turned off. Like, this guy that I thought was so sexy. I straddled him in the park making out with him because I was so attracted to him. And I was
Turns
like,
out that was a better environment.
Oh my God. So ridiculously just pushed into the opposite end of feeling him, thinking that he's sexy, thinking that he could get it, to let me get out of here.
Don't even touch me with a
You have legitimate like horror stories.
That's nuts.
Like, my shit does not compare to her stories. Like,
that is the crazy.
You got a cross dresser.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got this.
That's crazy.
The selfish full size.
Seriously. Pigsty mess. The blanket that was on it looked like it would scratch my skin. Like,
oh my God.
It's not 600 count.
He was like, you know, while I was there,
50.
He was like, see, I know that you a down ass chick. I told you that I had a humble home, and you still came to see me.
Did you say where was my burger? Stupid.
Mofo.
No.
Like, you had 2 burgers and couldn't offer me none.
Did you say I gotta go? I'm hungry.
Right? I did leave early.
Should have said that.
I would have been such an ass. So I'd have been like, look, I just worked. I'm a little hungry, so I'm going to get home and go cook some. You have a good night, stupid.
Wow. You ain't give me no burger.
I hate people.
Wow.
Yo, I can't believe that, though.
Yeah. Wow. You got to take a bite and then offer me.
I think that the moral of that story, though, is that people can present themselves really well. So you always still got to be checking them out. Even if you feel like it's progressing, things have been great so far, no major red flags. Like, yeah, he said a couple things about being a rider, holding him down, that kind of thing. But, you know, he's a good-looking guy, and he's coming correct so far. Took me on a couple nice dates. Okay. See where this go.
But you know what? I'm learning a lot about body language and like matching up what people say and how they react. I want you to teach me that. And just paying attention to how you feel. You know, we had this episode
lessons
about
on body language though.
I feel like it's kind of intrinsic. It's like intuition.
Yeah.
Where you have to really like hone in on the person. I've noticed that when you don't pay attention to yourself and you're not insecure about yourself and you really look at what the person is doing, what they're saying, matching it up, look at their facial expressions. Sometimes people have tics. You know what I'm saying? When they say stuff and they're lying. Like if you really study a person, you can see these things.
So I went to a professional conference and I took a workshop on body language because I'm a salesperson, right? And there were 2 key takeaways. She talked about a lot, but there were 2 takeaways that I will never forget I will share with you.
Tell me right now.
Is it the shaking the head thing?
No.
Okay.
No. So as a salesperson, sometimes we are over talking our customer and they start to position themselves like they're trying to get out the room. So you start to see them like their feet going in the direction that they want to go and it's away from you. That's a cue as a salesperson for us to pick up on to say, all right, they're done with this conversation. Let them go. Let's not badger them. The other thing that's more important to, I guess, personal life too. It's hard for a person to lie to you when they have their hands open like this.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Body language 101. If a person is talking to you like this, they are unguarded, they are relaxed, and they are being honest. If they're like this,
if you're just listening, her hands were
my palms
her
are
palms
up.
are up, and her hands are down. Her palms are up.
Yes, and so this is a very open.
I was just giving my girl props for explaining that. I couldn't let that go. That's my co-host.
It's very difficult for someone to lie to you or to be lying to you when they're in this position. But if they have their arms folded, if their body is turned away from you, even like with the guy that you just described that was all in your personal space and you tried to create that space by crossing your legs and facing him to get him out of your square, if you will.
I like this.
Yeah. Those were signs. So yeah, those were the 2 key takeaways. There were many other things that she discussed, but those were the things that really resonated with me.
There's one I learned from Dr. Phil that I like. Right. I mean, it's not always concrete, but if a person is answering a yes or no question and they say no, but they shake their head like yes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that is telling too. Like, have you ever cheated on me? Yes or no.
No. Like
you know
R. Kelly did that. R. Kelly
Mm-hmm.
did that in the interview with Gayle King.
No, R. Kelly.
He sure did. He did it in the interview with R. Kelly. With Gayle King.
Absolutely not.
Yes, he was saying absolutely not, but he was shaking his head up and down in the affirmative.
Because it's a subconscious thing.
Absolutely.
A lot of people can't shake that. That's one of the real facts out there.
Yeah. It took a lot of mental like thought for me to demonstrate that.
Yeah. Also, we were talking about A-Rod earlier, and there was an interview. There was like a doping scandal around him, and he did an interview denying his doping.
Yeah.
And he answered the question. He didn't move. He didn't nod, but he denied it. But then shortly after the denial, he smiled. And they were like, that's a giveaway also, because he was smiling because he pulled it off. He got away with it, you know. So it's you have to pay attention.
I heard that eye contact is one. That
Absolutely.
like they'll maintain eye contact as soon as they're about to lie. They have to like look down, or look to the side,
or if they look to the left, that means they're lying.
Yeah, but that one is kind of tricky because there are if you look a certain way, sometimes you are like looking for the thought, but then if you bring it back to that person, like it's okay. So I'm not sure if it's to the right or to the left. So that one is a little tricky for me.
I heard something about like when you're looking to the left, that's like the imagination side of your brain or something like that.
Shit.
I don't know how true.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
That's
I don't know
where
which
that comes
side.
from.
Yeah. So
Yeah, some people when they're lying, they'll like afterwards, or they'll do like a twitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many different things. I'm noticing so much more about people now when now that I'm paying attention and not being in my head wondering what they're thinking about me.
Right.
I still need you after this to tell me some stuff. We always go left with the convo though, don't we?
No, but
we
I
went
think
off
that
topic 1,000 times.
But it's related to dating.
This is important. This is important because when you out here in these streets meeting these folks,
and also too when you're
it's
internet
crazy.
dating, you're not like in that person's face right away. Like like you're going off of like phone interactions. You're going off of like written interactions. So it's like there's other things that you have to like be keen, and it's just really about being.
And they
confident
definitely don't have to have written their own thing, because Teresa wrote my whole thing. I didn't even write my own profile.
Oh my god! She was like, "I just need my friend to get out."
I'm not good with all of that.
To get me to write it. I was like,
yeah,
no.
Teresa did it for me. She did my old one on Match, but then I did it and kept some of the stuff, because I'm not. I don't know.
I'm trying to act like you don't know how to write. You can write well.
I can, but when it comes
like
to discussing myself, I can't. Yeah, right. Wait. What was that from?
Last
episode.
I hate y'all. You know, I forgot it already. What's that from?
It was 2 episodes ago, because Wesleyan was saying that she read the romance novels, and
that was the last week.
No, 2 episodes ago. That was episode 14.
Because I'm thinking.
Get it?
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
And so she was like, you were complimenting Wesleyan on how intelligent she is, and then it was somehow brought up that you know how to read too.
I love that you know like everything about every episode.
I'm mad that I'm sitting here
so
like
awesome.
I don't remember any of this. I need to go
She came in the house quoting episodes prior. Like I love it.
I am a loyal listener.
Thank you, girl.
Yes. So yeah, I do think though it's important that we talk about how to pay attention to body language and all of that stuff, whether or not you're online dating or meeting people the traditional way.
Yeah,
it's still important.
Yeah, because like you said, people present to be cool, but they may not be. So you got to be keen on those.
What's
those
also important, whether or not you're online dating or dating by meeting people the traditional way, is a man's ability to close the deal. I need you to try and set up a date, a time and a place. Express your interest without question. Undeniably say, I want to meet you in person.
See how she got close to that mic on that one, right?
We're going to talk about this.
She's smacking her hand like, this is how it goes.
And y'all need to listen. I had a dude slide in I met this man off Instagram. He slid in a DM. And, this man is constantly commenting, constantly talking about how he wants to hang out, but never makes a definitive plan. But then wants to hit me up last minute like, hey.
He broke.
What you doing today? Oh, shit.
What days does he try to hit you up on? Fridays?
Oh, shit.
Friday at 9 o'clock when he knows she already out doing something. Okay?
Shit.
He's trying to get the slide through.
You think it's that? I think it's that they're trying to get.
What days was it?
They're trying to get in.
Tell me what days it was.
Weekends.
But after plans should have been made already.
What time?
Late in the day.
Or
right?
to like random shit. Like, yo, they having a cookout on my block. Who the fuck wants to chill on your block?
Free
the
shit.
fuck?
That's hilarious.
I'm done with you. That's 100% right there. I hate you.
Does he usually hit you up late at night though?
Why? Yes, he
there's
does.
Times, yeah.
Because I feel like they do that for the booty call. Like they won't have any plans, so you can
but
be like,
what is
"Hey,
the booty?
come through."
Like what? I've never gone through.
You're not coming.
I'm not coming through.
He's gonna still try.
Seriously.
I don't
he's
really.
gonna make the effort. You never know.
I'm so
Get
done.
lucky.
I already saw him by himself.
Yes. So like it's related to like that pen pal mess. It's related to you know, just like even in person, like sometimes you can meet a guy and be flirting with them and you think that, all right, there's maybe a connection. If they're not closing the deal, if they're not asking you for your number and saying that they want to see you outside of this, there's probably a reason why. Either they're not interested
they're
or
not available.
They're not available.
Yeah.
And either way, like I've always been good about flirting. I've always been good about catching a man's attention and striking up a conversation. But if you're not closing the deal, there's a reason why, and I'm gonna
don't push
that.
it. Absolutely.
I'm not bagging
Absolutely.
niggas. I'm not out here in these streets. Well, I'm not doing that anymore. Period.
Fix that.
But when I was in these streets,
he listens randomly, I'm sure.
Yes, but he'll listen to this though. When I was in these streets, I was not about bagging. I would give the eye contact. I'd give the smile.
We're going to let you know we're available, but we're not putting that work in.
Yes.
Come do
now it's your job. You got all the signals. What you do with it is on you. If you don't do anything with it, it wasn't here.
Yeah, I agree.
So y'all are not for the men who like for a woman to initiate that.
Nah, I'm not doing it. We ain't never gonna kick it. We ain't never gonna kick it.
And that's probably a sign for life. Like, honestly, who gonna do all the heavy lifting in this relationship? Me or you?
Oh,
damn.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
but you consider that to be heavy lifting?
She hit me with that one. She hit me with that.
Go ahead.
I think that
I have to be the aggressor and the man. I'm good.
So you don't think that now and then, the woman could throw in a good one?
We could, but we don't need to initially do
that.
I think initially it's on you.
If I'm throwing out all these signals already, anyway, you know what I'm saying, and you're not trying to close this deal, then exactly, and I'm making it clear that there's an interest. If you aren't confident enough to say, I want to get to know you, can we exchange phone numbers? Then how can I trust your level of confidence moving forward?
True.
I feel bad for men because I feel like y'all have a lot of pressure on you to do this, because I also feel like it's kind of a societal expectation that's put on men.
I don't feel bad because I feel like if we're giving you those signals, then there's nothing that should be stopping you if like, you're available.
If I'm now at the bar with my girlfriends with my back turned to you and giving you the time of day, and you trying to roll up like, hey shorty, what's up? That's a different story. But if you're getting signals from me, come on, man, close this deal.
No, I agree with that. That's the role that there is. In society, that's the role the way it is.
I like that role.
I like it too. I don't
that
disagree
manly,
with it.
aggressive. Like, come get it.
Yes,
that's right.
I love it. I love it.
Come get it.
I love it. Yes. He was like that. He pursued me and he made it very clear. And I was like,
your mentor.
I didn't know what to do. I was like,
but guys, when we're on a date, read the signals. Because I had a guy that I went on a date with. He wasn't reading it right. First of all, he was such an asshole. So I met him at a restaurant. I got there first. Fine. I like to actually get there first. I like to have a first drink.
See the exits
by myself. Just like prepare myself for it. So the guy comes. I mean, such an asshole. Gets a drink. Immediately bitching that the drink isn't strong enough. Proceeds to find a manager to complain about the strength of his drink.
God, diva.
You're doing this on a first date, guy?
Yeah, and then you're bitching about a drink?
It was insane.
Yeah.
So I'm clearly not giving you that much. I know me. I know my face. I know my attitude. You have to know. Yeah. Any person, yeah.
He must.
That motherfucker knew, but he still played himself. So when we leave, he caught, I don't know why he caught me off guard and shoved his tongue in my mouth. And I was just like,
oh my God.
I backed away. What's sick? Who?
Yeah.
I wonder about those men. I wonder about those men.
See, I always have.
I kind of feel like, are you a rapist? Like, why?
If dudes got to come in and try to sneak it in, come on, man.
Seriously.
The girl will let you know if she wants it.
Is it that hard for dudes to know, like, when the signal is being...
These dudes are just whack.
Do you think that some guys are just that arrogant to not even want to accept?
Yes. That
I think that was his issue. I think that he was so arrogant that he thought...
I got it like this.
Yeah.
Come on.
Because even when I rejected him after that kiss, he was still trying to
Oh my God.
You should come with me to Jersey to a club. I said, this sounds stupid. I don't even know what else to say. This sounds stupid. I'm going home, sir. It was like,
Jersey to a club.
But you really... I just deaded you after this kiss. I don't know why do you think I'm gonna continue to see? You're never seeing me again.
This was an online guy too, yes?
This was, yeah. I'm only talking online right now.
You get some freaks out there, that's what it is.
And I also think that
he was a cop too, FYI. We done with those. We done with those. Because they are very entitled. I'm learning.
They think they got it like that.
I think that many times people that are online, not always, it's not a hard and fast rule, but there are people that have been in a relationship for a while or haven't been in the game for a while. So they put themselves out there online, and sometimes they're not very self-aware. Mm-hmm. I think that there is some entitlement on the parts of men, some desperation on both sides, both male and female.
Yeah.
And I think that it's important that you pay attention to the spirit in which you're participating with this online dating. A guy that I used to date a while back.
Cute. To the spirit in which you are online dating.
So,
all right, go ahead.
He was a guy that I was a friend with, but we knew that relationship-wise we weren't really compatible because we did mess around a little bit, but we did eventually become good friends. And I was sharing with him that I was going speed dating with one of my girlfriends, and he gave me some advice. He said, don't go into the speed dating with serious intention of like trying to find your soulmate. Be loose.
Yeah, definitely not speed dating.
Be free. And he said, honestly, sometimes women, they come so hard out the gate with like these interrogating questions, finding out what your intention is. What are you looking for? Where do you work? What do you do? How many kids do you have? All of that stuff. And that can be
basic
but that's
shit we
really
need to know.
It is basic, and it is things that we need to know. But for some men, it can be very intimidating to get that boom, 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 boom.
Oh, go back to the rock you climbed out of.
For men who are looking for a relationship who are open, I don't think that conversation would really come across that way.
Because I'm expecting you to ask me the same thing. You want to know if I have kids. You want to know that I have a decent job. Get the...
If it's going in a nice conversation, then I don't see how that could be the case. But if it's like you're literally interrogating the person and it's like you're not having a conversation, then I could see it being like.
So I'm in agreement with you ladies.
That shit got me mad right now.
I injected a little bit of male perspective at the time, and I believe that it's because he wasn't where he wanted to be in life. So he felt intimidated by that line of questioning. And so many men often try and say, well, a woman should not be so serious. She should be a little bit lighthearted. She should be this. She should be that. And sometimes it's not just a woman problem. Sometimes it's a man can't come correct. He's not stepping up to the plate problem and is intimidated by a strong, successful woman expressing what she wants.
You know what though? I when I get asked what I do and where I work, an insecurity pops up in me.
Sure, because you're not happy with it.
Every time,
because you're not happy with it.
I
sure
get into this little shell. I'm awkward. I'm uncomfortable, and I answer it like, I work here, and you know what I'm saying, like immediately.
And I'm the opposite. I love what I do, so I'm
me too.
And I know that I'm not, and I know that this, you know what I'm saying. So I immediately go to that to this day, and I try so hard to be aware of it and more confident in it, but I'm not. I'm not. It's almost like a shame, which is bad. Because I shouldn't feel like that.
Yeah,
but
I know what you mean.
I think it's just because it's just not what I want to do. Yeah. So
I was going to say, who says that you shouldn't feel that way? Yes, it provides for you. Yes, it puts a roof over your head. You pay your bills. But ultimately, is it your passion?
That's right.
Right.
Is it what you see yourself doing for the rest of your life?
And once you start working on your passion, that's going to change for you because you'll say it with the knowledge that you're going to be going somewhere else.
Yeah.
And you can still say that even,
absolutely.
Before
but
that starts to come.
Before it even starts to come, but you have to have faith and believe that it's actually coming.
I know.
So like once you see it, once it's in your sight, you can be like, I do insurance, but right now I'm working on blah, 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 blah. And then you have the passion,
I feel you on that. It's about finding that delicate balance.
I had to interject that because it was going to go somewhere else.
But I think that it's important. because when we talk about dating and meeting people,
no finisher, second drink.
I'm lit right
feeling
now.
it. She
I was like,
feeling
as I was talking, I was
yeah.
like, oh my God, I think I'm drunk. I didn't want to say it, but I'm like, I think I'm pretty tipsy right now.
All right,
I'm
now.
not gonna lie. I was like,
we like it. We need
big eyes. I was like,
we need more stories out of you. We need more
up.
stories out of you. But yeah, ultimately, I think that this part of the conversation is important because I think
Very
that sometimes we show up thinking that we're representing ourselves in one way, but it comes across in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's vice versa. You know, men might say, well, women do this and women do that. And really, it's because they're intimidated by a strong, confident woman, too. So,
But those conversations are the ones where the truth comes out. So it's so important to have. It's like you can't be afraid to have those conversations. And also, if you have that conversation and you feel like you're running the dude off, then you know that dude is not the one for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let him run. Let him run, ladies.
Yeah.
Always let him run. Don't chase anything.
It's just a conversation. It's not like gonna do
Yeah.
anything. You know what I mean? Like it's important to have. So.
Right. But to that point, I do think that it's important to have it. So what I will say is this. In my sales, I sell drugs for a living.
What?
Pharmaceutical, guys.
That sounded crazy.
Yeah.
Didn't come
She
out
didn't
right.
specify.
But
Pharmaceutical.
I will say it's important.
We're not in Cali.
On each facts.
on BK.
On each sales
On
interaction
the hill.
to close for a commitment. But if you haven't earned the right to close, you can't close for that commitment. Okay? So
Preach.
I feel like it can come across.
That was in so many different levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
It
I
can
was
be
like,
taken out
wow.
of context or come
Say
across
that one more time, Natasha.
Say it
Desperate.
again. Say it
if you
again.
haven't
Gotta process that.
earned the right to close.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
Mhm.
Okay?
Close my eyes. Right
Yes.
now. Okay. If you haven't earned the right to close.
Yes.
Mm.
So
Why
you
we don't
can't
drink
ask for
more
that
than-
commitment if you haven't shown up. If you haven't shown.
Don't break the
you
set.
must- oh my God. Melissa, give me your water bottle. This girl.
Tipsy
All right.
podcast.
I'm sorry. I was still
Oh my God.
to get the water. I'm begging it
You
in
were
the
at
mic.
a deep moment
All right.
too.
I was. I
Let's
know.
bring it back. Let's
She
bring it
was.
back.
She was. I'm sorry.
You have not earned.
Yes.
Either way, I say all of that to say, sometimes when you're dating, you're still you're reacquainting yourself with yourself. You're getting to know yourself and what you want, and making sure that you're projecting the image or putting out what you really want to put out. And some days you are and some days you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that goes both ways, both men and women. So
Word is bond.
yeah, it's important to try and be as honest as possible
Be authentic.
And
Because it
with-
will show if you're not.
with others and with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That comes through when you're not
Mhm.
being authentic and honest with yourself.
Word, yo.
Yeah.
She be spitting that shit. Huh?
On a lighter note, I do have one last internet dating story that is, I think,
cannot wait.
comical.
This is the one.
Oh,
Yes.
boy.
Let's get this one. This is it.
So I dated this guy that I met online. He and I worked in a similar area. So our first date was a lunch date, which was great because oftentimes with first interactions, meeting face to face, I like it to be quick and I like to have an out. So I like to
For
either
real though.
meet for coffee,
Smart.
a happy hour drink. I say I can meet you for a quick happy hour drink, but I have dinner plans after. That gives me an out. Or lunch is perfect because we both got to get back to work.
I never thought of this.
Yes.
I've ended up
So
on 8-hour
smart.
dates every time.
And I'm not trying to be stuck out there with these dudes. Like, honestly. So, this particular guy, we worked in the same area, so we met for lunch, and it was a really nice date. He was a gentleman. We had a nice little sit-down conversation. We had already been texting and chatting, so I knew that, from his vibe over the phone, I think that we would hit it off. I saw a couple pictures, so I was good with that. And so we met for lunch twice. And then we met for dinner. The first dinner meeting, we met like further away from our work area. We wanted to get out and explore other areas together. So we met in like Williamsburg, Brooklyn. And when he greeted me,
here it comes.
I was approaching the restaurant and he was standing outside the restaurant and he was happy to see me. He smiled and he said, "Hey." And I said, "Hey." But I was like 10 feet away from him. And
he's like across the street.
I smelled his breath.
Oh, damn. It's dragon.
So I was
I knew by the way she went,
"Hey."
if I smell your breath across the street, get in my fucking car.
Oh my God.
We ain't even doing this shit.
Oh my God. So I was like, whoa. But I went.
I
went up to him.
Oh shit!
And I hugged him. And
you gave him the sideways hug though?
No. I gave him like the full on hug. And I gave him.
Was there a BO?
No.
There wasn't a BO.
No BO.
He just has halitosis.
Yeah, the breath was kicking.
It is.
And so I said, okay, maybe he had a bad night.
A bad breakfast.
A bad night.
I tried to give him that benefit of the doubt because I had met him.
Bad night was that?
Listen. I had met him twice before for lunch, and this did not exist.
Maybe you had a cold.
Maybe something was going on, right?
Cold breath is
rough.
You smell the mucus. You smell the mucus.
Post-nasal drip.
Oh my God. Like, yo, Kat. Oh my goodness. Oh my God.
Yo, but 10 feet away though? Damn.
Yo. Seriously.
Yo.
At least. So, I went on another date with him. What? After that.
No, she said she thought it was a bad.
So it wasn't bad enough that your eyelashes burned off.
No, not yet. The next date was another dinner date. Oh my God.
What was that? What was that?
She hit her head. She hit her head. Oh my God.
My head on the
Oh my God.
How did you do that?
Oh my goodness. Oh my God, that's so funny.
That was so scary. That sound. Okay.
We can't
Her drink is on it
more
too.
than one drink.
Yeah,
okay. Crazy.
Seriously.
On another date.
Okay, second dinner date.
Bring it back.
Second dinner date, and the breath was still there. The breath was there again.
Halitosis still a fact.
Okay.
In effect.
You give him a mint?
No.
I'm surprised you didn't come prepared for the breath.
I didn't give him a mint.
She could have a mask on.
I mean, come with some gum for the man.
But during this second date, he said, "I am really starting to feel you. And I feel like we're having a nice time together." And he said, "I'm not really sure where I stand with you. Like, how do you feel this is going?"
Far away. Because
that was a good one.
Your Cortnie is cracking up.
You said far away.
That was nice, baby.
That was a good one. That was a really good one. All right.
I'm so weak.
You're so weak.
Oh my God.
I'm never drinking this much again.
When you hit your head on that mic, I was
Yeah, that was
Oh
funny.
my goodness.
all right.
So I said, I think that you're a nice guy. And I think we have a lot in common. And
so nice,
I'm
Natasha.
really having a nice time getting to know
She
you.
is. I didn't like your breath.
Wait.
Your fucking breath, sir.
You still want that to be? So I said, there is one thing that I'm having a hard time with, and that is your breath.
The way you worded it, though.
Shit. No, she's so
I'm so glad you were honest about it.
Yeah. And I said, the last couple times that we've seen each other, I feel like there might be an issue.
It's like he didn't notice you tearing.
And so he said, okay. I said, have you heard that from anyone else before?
You're the first one that got this close.
The way she's so composed about it is so fucking retarded.
It's like you can't get mad at her.
How do you has anyone told you about your breath? I don't feel like you need therapy, bitch. Why are you talking to me like this?
Oh my God.
Okay.
Coming off like a health professional.
Composed. I can't.
I think
She psychotherapy his ass.
That maybe his sister might have said something to him about it.
His sister.
Might have.
Did no one in your family
She
tell
either
you?
did or didn't. I might have said she might have said. I thought she was lying and my breath was hot.
So this was a long date, and we went out some more. And then
you went out. Wait.
After the breath conversation?
After the breath conversation.
No. Wait. He said his sister might have told him, and then y'all just went to a second spot. For
he
was like, all right, fuck it. Somebody told you. All right.
Because he was a nice guy. He was. I really did like him.
So
I did
get past it.
He did get some breath mints. And
have this box of Tic Tacs.
It didn't help.
It didn't help.
Breath mints don't help.
Isn't it called halitosis?
It's halitosis.
Breath mints don't help.
Well, it could also be something else. Usually when it's that bad,
a sour stomach or gum disease,
or
something like that.
Anyway,
tonsillitis.
Oh, wait. Can I back up, guys? I need to back up. Before I had the breath conversation with him, I did kiss him.
Oh.
Not the same night, but the night prior, the
with tongue and
prior.
everything.
You strong, man.
With tongue and everything.
Strong.
And let me
you
just
live
say,
to tell
he was a sloppy kisser. So his saliva left a ring around my mouth. And I drove myself there on the drive.
You were smelling that on the way home?
We talked about this on the other episode.
I smelled his breath the entire ride.
Wait.
Oh.
You smelled it after he was gone. On your mouth.
My mouth.
The halitosis dried under her nose, motherfucker.
That dragon didn't want to leave, yo.
She had dried halitosis under her nose. It probably smelled worse.
I was driving.
She didn't
from
what is
she
that?
Put saliva under her nose.
Manhattan to Long Island with this man's breath.
That's fucking disgusting.
Still on my face.
He left a lasting impression on. That is the best story I've ever heard.
Oh my God.
See, what you gotta do is like nurses do. Carry a
done.
little bottle of what's that called? Vapor rub. It's
Vicks.
not just for Puerto Ricans.
No, yeah, you put it up.
Block out the
Vaporub.
Paparu.
Wow.
So
wait though.
we went on one more date.
Oh my God.
We went on one more date, and the breath was still bad.
You gave him plenty of time.
I did, but I decided that was the last time that I could deal with it. But I didn't tell him. I ghosted him after that.
Oh, you ain't even text out.
No, I didn't even text out because I gave him the heads up.
Yes. You know what, sir? It was your fucking job to go to the dentist and handle your fucking breath. I told you.
I told him.
No,
and I was real. I was like, yo, I think you're a nice guy. I really did, and I thought maybe there was something there.
Sir, go to the dentist and figure it out.
And he didn't get it. He didn't get it handled.
Is it though?
He was calling and texting.
Self-awareness.
And
that
I
episode
just
1?
I straight up ghosted. Before ghosted was even a term, I ghosted. And that was it for him.
But did you went on like 3 dates?
I wonder if he could smell
I went
his
on
own
like
breath.
5 or 6 dates with this man.
She made out with this motherfucker.
No, you're nose blind. You're nose blind to what's underneath your nose all day, every day. Yeah. There are people with BO that can't smell themselves because they're so accustomed to the smell.
Yeah, but if somebody tells you, yo, homie, you're humming, come on, man.
Yeah, humming.
You showed your age right now. That was yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's embarrassing.
Oh I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed that I even had to say that.
But good for you for saying something.
Oh my goodness.
Your stories.
Ugh.
I thought my shit was bad, but like my shit's golden.
But listen, for
That's
me,
insane.
Online dating was a great tool to get out there and meet people. Ultimately, anyone that I've been with for an extended amount of time, I did not meet online, but I always did a combo of online dating, going out with my girlfriends, telling my other friends that I was single if they knew anybody. And that's what ultimately led me to
broaden your pool
but
of candidates.
How did you find the cross-dresser, halitosis, laying only bunch of motherfuckers? How is that your life?
I will not throw a particular website under the bus, but there is one particular that is one of those free ones.
They came from all of that. They
All
came
of
from the same one.
It was plenty of fish.
Why you throwing them under the bus though?
Throw them all the way the fuck
For
under.
a warning for
all
those
of
who
mine
are
were
internet
plenty
dating.
of fish. Get the fuck off it.
Mine too.
There's
They're
a
a
benefit
mess.
to paying for these dating sites.
No,
You get
you
high.
Not
know
really.
what?
No, there's not.
No,
There's not.
I'm
No,
gonna
there's
tell you
not.
why. Because when I don't think we did Match at the same time, but I felt like there was no action on Match. There was no
because then nobody want to pay for it.
ethnic action on Match, and when I did find, it was Cornball City. Let me tell you. And I also felt like many of the profiles might have been dummy profiles. I don't think that they were all like legitimate people, because the level of interaction definitely wasn't the same as it is on the free websites. So there's something that's a little sketchy to me. I'm sorry about that particular one.
I met 2 people. There's probably more, and I'm forgetting who they are.
Too significant.
There was 2 that stuck out on Match. There was one that I met for drinks. My dates tend to last very fucking long.
You set it up that way, baby.
I do. I'm not even gonna lie. We started off just going for drinks. It turned into drinks and dinner, and then it turned into a walk in the park. All right.
Oh my God.
It was fine though.
With
Like
a
he was
stranger.
no, my dates are forever long.
Ugh.
So we go to the park and we sit down, and this man now begins to smell my hair. And I was like, well, here's where it turns.
Wow.
Here it is. No, here it is. Like, you're smelling my hair. This is uncomfortable. You're a weirdo.
Yeah, creep.
And now I got abort.
What is it with some guys in here? One of my ex-boyfriends washed my hair. And he kept telling me he wanted to wash my hair for like ever. He literally washed my hair.
In the shower, in the sink?
In the shower. Like, not even we were in the shower together. Like, I was leaned over the tub. And he washed my hair like he was at a salon.
Erotic
like
session.
Shampoo and did he
Conditioned
Did he
it,
comb it
everything.
through?
I don't think he combed it.
He messed up.
I just need to know how far this got. How much do you know about hair, and why are we doing this? What are your aspirations?
And since we got together, like, from the beginning, this was a dream of his. And I'm just like,
God. People got weird fetishes, boy.
Oh my God.
I have a weird fetish. Not weird, but
You have a fetish.
You do?
Well, it's not really. Well,
Let
they're
it out.
too.
Don't cop, please speak on it.
That's it.
What
It's
you
too
got?
late. Don't hold it back.
What you got?
Let it out, yo.
I'm gonna regret this.
Do it. I'm still here for this. This is the 3. This is the level 3.
Viste.
Speaking.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I do like for men to pull my hair. While I am rocking a weave, it's fine as long as they grab inside and yank it.
Make sure you catch the
but
real
I don't
hair.
see that as a fetish.
I like that. The other thing is probably more of a fetish. I do like balls. I like to smell them.
All right.
I know it's weird.
Some people's balls smell really good.
But
Bad.
listen, and if you subscribe to Melissa's having a fit.
Like, I'm no
Melissa's
judgment
having a
here.
fit. If you subscribe to like the whole pheromone thing, like
Yeah.
you know
Well,
that
it is
we
true.
are
It is true.
chemically just inclined to
You don't
certain
partake
people.
in the balls?
Is that what it
says?
is? I love your
But
balls.
who
Well, thank
says? I like
Balls are
balls.
beautiful.
Yeah,
I like balls
I
All right.
do.
all day.
I
Every
do.
day, all day.
I do.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, girl.
Yeah, hey.
They're fun.
It's like almond joy.
They're fun. Yeah.
I've played in it, but they not a preference.
Yo, homie.
Well, it doesn't
I'm
necessarily
so glad they
like,
didn't hear that.
What you say?
He said it's like almond joy.
almond joy.
It's not no motherfucking.
Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Thank you.
I'm done with y'all. I'm fucking done with y'all. I'm so done with y'all. So done with y'all.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
man.
that's my revelation. And I'm done talking because if I say anything else, the painkiller probably will get me into some more trouble. So.
The pain letter.
It's
The
making
pain
that-
letter.
It's taking
The
that
pain letter.
pain
I'm
easy.
done. The pain letter just done got me.
Looks like
I
baby's
can't
gonna
even
have to
speak.
finish this podcast.
Oh shit!
Between the three of us, right?
Mhm.
Wow,
Oh, man, that was great. That was
your
great.
stories though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that last
My
one took
shit
me
was
out.
light. I was all dramatic,
Mom,
like
you
I
feel
had
like
the
a
worst
lightweight?
experience. I had lightweight. I had good experiences. I just
Yeah.
had assholes like to pull hair, smell it a little bit.
It's not that bad.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
It's normal shit.
But honestly, like, we need permission. Like, you can't just be like throwing this level of intimacy, like you grabbing my hand, smelling it and stuff. Like, whoa, back up, homie.
No, it was crazy.
I don't even know your last name yet.
That's true. That's true.
That shit's crazy.
Ask permission, people.
Mhm.
Ask
You gotta
permission.
set some.
Consent. Wait.
Yes.
Renee had
Especially-
me watch a video on YouTube called T Consent that they made her watch at her daughter's new college. And it's the craziest fucking video.
Consent.
It's called T Consent. And so it's like, don't make anyone drink the tea. Because they might want the tea. Then they might not want the tea.
What?
So you can't force them to have the tea.
Oh.
They don't want the tea all the time.
And if they're unconscious, they definitely don't
Don't
want
want
the
that
tea.
tea.
Uh-huh.
Mm-mm.
They
So-
might be conscious and say
Uh-huh.
they want that tea. But if you come back after you done boiled the water and put the milk in
Mm.
and they're
And say
passed
that
out,
they
They don't want that tea.
Don't
That's
pour the
how they
tea
got
down their
message
throat.
across?
Yeah.
Wow.
yo, I was so fucking uncomfortable watching it. I said, well, who
No,
is T
it's
dick?
needed.
I was confused.
It's
I
needed.
said,
Yes.
don't
yes.
shove the
Yes.
dick down
College
her throat while
students
she's
ain't drinking
sleeping.
tea.
Yes.
I was
That's
like, what
exactly
the
what
fuck is happening?
That's
Oh
what
my
tea
God.
is.
It
Tea
was
is- tea is the tea.
hysterical. But
Yeah.
it's
It's
sad.
true,
It's
though.
sad though that we have to show a video for this.
Listen,
Like we have to do.
We
We have to go to
are-
these lengths at this point. This is fucked up.
in an era
We
of
are.
Me Too, of
It's insane.
grabbing by the pussy,
Yes.
a Pill Cosby,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Oh,
so we at this point,
I knew that you were gonna do some shit, and I fucking knew it.
oh my God! So
Some pudding
so we,
pop?
I mean, honestly, so they gotta educate these kids,
Yeah.
and I think that there are many adults that still need some educating as well.
But why say tea? Just call it what it is. Like these are college bound
Because
people.
you know what it is? It sounds funnier.
You have to watch it though.
You know.
They're drawn as stick figures. It's the funniest
you
fucking
see?
shit.
It's funny.
Wow.
They're asleep and like supposed fake waters like falling out their mouth. They're like, don't. They're unconscious. No, poor tea. Like what the fuck?
Are they trying to be cool?
You
using,
can
like,
Google it.
slang,
It's called
like the
tea
tea?
consent. It's
Or
insane.
maybe even
Yeah.
too just to keep the kids engaged because they may just
Yeah.
like get bored and not
That's what
want
it
to
is.
see it if they're talking. And
I
like,
watched it and was highly entertained.
So it's
see?
like
Not even gonna
animated,
lie.
like a
it was
cartoon?
animated.
So it
It's
was
a
done
stick
well.
figure cartoon.
Yeah, I like
I'm
those.
gonna Google that after the
No, I
podcast is
think
over.
you should. It's actually
And it's like being illustrated as you're watching. Is
Yeah.
that one of those kind
Yeah.
of things? Yeah.
Yeah, it's to keep your attention.
I know that you might get mad that they said they want the tea and you went through trouble making some tea and now they don't want the tea, but they can say no to the tea.
All right now.
See, you remembered it. It was that good.
Yes.
It was
see?
that fucking good, huh?
And she don't remember a lot.
Yeah,
I found it.
Ain't that the saddest shit? You
I
can't. It's
found
long,
it.
so you can't play it.
Yeah.
But it's crazy.
I got that queued up for after.
Yeah,
Tea consent.
I'm so
Tea
good.
consent. We're
Well,
gonna have to be on
ladies,
first dates showing that.
Is
Tea
it?
consent.
If I- That's fucked up that I have to go through these lengths.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, I think it's affirmation time.
it is. It is. So I try to relate it to online dating. Let's see.
All right. Let's see.
Affirmation for the week is it's a slow process, but quitting won't speed it up.
Where take your time, get to know these people that you're meeting online or wherever you're meeting them.
I kind of interpret it a little differently. Like, you got to be in it to win it. You know, it's a slow process, but if you're not in the game, you quitting. So,
yeah,
take your time.
All the above.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, ladies, for sharing your wonderful entertainment.
Oh my God, Natasha, thank you for your stories. My shit was lightweight. Mine was light.
It was still very entertaining.
That was fucking nuts.
That was nuts.
That was nuts.
She took me out twice.
I don't even understand. You almost were unconscious.
Oh my God. I always have a great time with you, ladies.
Yes, Natasha, thank you for being in the common room once again. We know
you
you'll be
for
back.
having me. Yes, yes.
All right, guys, it's a wrap for episode 16.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Wow.
Getting up there in the numbers.
About to be in the 20.
Oh my God, we had to have like a party or something.
Yeah.
We should.
We didn't have a launch party.
We'll do a listening party for 20.
Oh my God, that would be so fun.
Hey.
Yeah, idea. If you would be interested in attending our listener party for the 20th episode,
yes.
Email us, DM us.
Perfect.
Send us messages.
I'll be here too.
Yes. Our email address is thecommonwomanpodcast@gmail.com. The Common Woman Podcast. At the Common Woman Podcast on IG and at Common Woman Pod on Twitter.
Yeah.
The painkiller.
I was sensitive of that. I was like, but isn't it pod for Twitter? She wasn't even on Twitter yet.
Yeah.
Sorry. My bad.
Oh man, we hope you enjoyed these last 2 episodes, and we will see you next week for episode 17. You'll have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.